Hi, welcome to all those rose enthusiasts around the world, and welcome back to my garden. And I am bracing the wet and rubbish, terrible weather today just to make this very quick video. And as we are officially entering into autumn, the garden really is looking very sorry for itself. Unfortunately for me this year, I haven't been able to make the best of flowering rose in my garden. And today it's really just to go have a look at some of the roses that are still in flower for this time of the year. And there are a couple of roses which I will mention that I will be digging up and replacing them. And this is one of them. This is Golden Celebration. And I have had this rose for about 4 years now, and last year or this year she hasn't really done very well, although she did give me a couple of decent flushes, but she's always covered in black spots. So yeah, this is one of them that I will be digging up. And this is Souvenir de Baden-Baden. I haven't seen any blooms on this yet. This is a rose that my sister gave me. And then this one is a rose called Grace by David Austin. I really love this rose. And look at that, still producing some fresh blooms and growth. And there's another flower trying to open. And this is a very wonderful flowering carpet, a very late flowering one. And behind there, down there, is a couple of blush noisette, which is very slow to establish herself. I bought a bunch of these baby salvias which I planted in the ground, but majority of them have been decimated by slugs and snails. But I have managed to save some, and those eggshells you see there, I've put them all around the plant just to discourage any slugs from eating them. And then that one is Bring Me Sunshine, and this is definitely a rose that should be in the ground. And look at the size of these chunks of stems. It is really huge. And then this is another Bathsheba cutting, which I took a few years ago. Was struggling quite a bit in the pot, so I managed to move it to the back of the garden. It is looking ever so crowded. And I've got more of these baby salvias. I very doubt these will probably survive our winter. And then surprisingly, these lilies in flower still, is amazing. And you see that slug there? So that's what's been eating the petals. Yeah, I'm gonna ignore that. But such a shame though. Look at that. It was beautiful, but looks like that slug is really making a meal of it. And then meal on the floss there used to be in the pot. I had 2 of these. One of them died naturally. I kind of like to say naturally, but I think I might have killed it myself, which is fine by me. I think I've got far too many anyway. But this one, I've moved it to the back of the garden, and it was kind of struggling in a pot, but still produced a lot of new fresh growth since moving. But let me show you another rose. And this rose really needs to be deserve a mention. This is a rose called Molyneux by David Austin. Not a very popular rose, unfortunately, but this is a gorgeous rose. This is her full flush now, but look at that, covered in a lot of blooms. An amazing rose. I never really kind of liked this rose because I just never really get to interact with it because it's just so far back in the garden. But look at it, such a great, amazing rose. And Lady of Shalott. what a wonderful rose this is. This is one of the few roses that really does flower from right from the start of the season all the way up to autumn. And there's the proof. An absolutely flowering machine this one is. Lady Charlotte. Wonderful, wonderful rose. And I've always not noticed a scent on this rose, but I've been getting a really lovely tea scent from it. And then this is Queen of Sweden, which has done surprisingly well for me. And for me, this is has a love-hate relationship. I love it for its beautiful blooms and the color as well. But I don't like it because it's just far well behaved. I like my rose to have that kind of like natural look to it. But this is just very, very upright and very almost looks too good. And Royal Jubilee. Rose by David Austin. Look at that. It is such a monster of a rose. So many stems. I think I need to thin it down later on in the year. And this is Desdemona. This rose has just done average for me this year. Previously, she's done really well. An absolutely amazing sight when she's in her flower. And Bathsheba here, as you can see, a lot of these blooms are started to ball up, which is quite understandable considering the amount of rain we've been seeing. Towering above all my other roses, almost 10 foot tall. Has a lovely, gorgeous myrrh fragrance. This is one of the most biggest rose in my garden for sure. It's expanding itself all the way around my border in the middle. Crazy rose. And I'll just swing you across and have a look at Roald Dahl. Look at that. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Seeing so many buds and blooms on such a late time of the year. It almost reminds me of like a spring, in fact. Look at that. These blooms are miniature. But there is a lot of it still. Unbelievable. Yep, this is one of the only rose that is and has more blooms than any of them combined, in fact. And next to that is a rose called Leonardo da Vinci. Brilliant rose. Down there is Coco Loco. And Coco Loco did lose majority of its foliage back in late summer. And yet she's still producing some blooms. Look at that unique colour. It really is such a unique and gorgeous sight. I love this rose, and most people will find this very dislikable, in fact, for its colour. For me, I think that's very unique. And then this is Jasmina, a climbing rose by Cordes. Yeah, I got my finger stuck in one of these thorns. And this is Wallerton Old Hall. And Wallerton Old Hall has just recently produced a fresh stem with a few blooms on the end. And my Gertrude Gico here is still trying to produce some blooms and a lot of fresh growth in fact. And there's another blooms there. You see there? More buds to come. That's it, and not really much to see now. And I will show you another rose that I will be digging up. Is a rose called Darcy Bustle. This really a rose that has always underperformed in my garden, and hence I am determined to dig it up and replace it with a rose called Sister Emmanuel by Milland. And there is another beautiful bloom on my Bathsheba. And a very quick look at some of my potted Cordess roses. This is Madame Anisette. And although you are seeing some blooms on her, unfortunately this is only her second flush. And with this weather turning this bad, really I don't get to enjoy some of these blooms. And that's a problem I find with Cordess roses. They're just very late in producing their second flushes, or third if there is any. But this is Fruity Parfumer, and this one tends to ball up for me as well. And then Bliss Parfumer. This is probably one of my favorite Cordesses at the moment. And Penelope Lively. I'm starting to really like this one. Look at that, it's producing a lot of fresh growth as well. A few more blooms. But this one is the most impressive of all my David Austin. Look at that. This is Olivia Rose Austin, and by far one of my best performing roses in my garden this year and in previous years as well. Now, and I'm talking with a bit of a jutter now because it is really cold, and my fingers are really feeling it now. But yeah, Olivia Rose Austin, what an amazing rose this is. And the rose that really continues to flower all throughout the season. Yeah, and I'm really feeling that the cold now. But let me quickly show you another a favorite of mine. This is Yves Piaget, and I did move this from the outside under the canopy to preserve its blooms. How beautiful is that? And this bloom has been like this for 2 weeks now. Unbelievable. And I'm so impressed with Milland roses that I've ordered more. And I have 3 sisters. The youngest one, oh, they're all a bunch of nutters. The youngest one lives in Wales, and she's the adventurous one, and she has a love for roses as well. But she's always going on her wild adventures and always bragging about how she walks with elephants, swim with dolphins, and running with cheetahs. I bet that's a lie, more like running away from cheetahs. And I've got an older sister who lives in London, and she loves roses as well, but just don't have that knowledge and the space. As we all know, living in London, space is a bit of a problem. And I have a middle sister. Her name is Lynn Greenfingers. She has a YouTube channel like I have. And she's probably the nuttiest and the craziest of the lot, because she's always buying new roses and always encouraging me to buy more, and constantly giving me ideas and stuff like that. And whenever she's buying more roses, I'm always asking her if she can help me to add some to her orders as well. So the main reason that I'm buying all these roses is because of her. I'm not going to say too many negative things about her, otherwise she'll leave me a bad review. But yeah, she's the nutcase of the family. But that's it for today, and I really want to thank everybody for supporting my channel for this year. and hopefully when next year I have a few more new varieties to show you. But I'll leave you with a gloomy sky in UK, and that's it for this year, and I hope to see you all very soon the next year, and I hope you have a lovely day.